been traveled through many elite places. I went from the Buckingham Palace to under the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, still under the custody of Child Protective Services, the child welfare system. And everybody is so worried about the elite, and we could give those names of Barack Obama, Joe Biden. I was trafficked to people within my schools. I was trafficked in underground tunnels that link under your schools, through your cemeteries, under your amusement parks, through Universal Studios, and into Hollywood elite homes, all over the place.
In containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying. There were babies that were 6 years old, and I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them. Everybody was just staring at each other. Nobody knew whether or not to move.
Talking about the victims that are still going through this right now with other people who are running to cover and deleting their social medias. Pink, Megan Fox, Tyra Banks, Steve Harvey.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG, any of them, all lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
Let me be real with you for a second. There are moments in this industry where something drops, and you can physically feel the silence before the panic sets in. That's exactly what happened when Katt Williams stepped forward to back up every single thing Ally Carter has been screaming from the rooftops for years. And when Katt opens his mouth about the industry, history has shown us he is not playing games. But here's what sent people into full meltdown mode: the names. Because when you hear names like Birdman, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Young Jeezy, and Diddy, that's one level of shock. But when Denzel Washington's name enters the conversation, that's when people's entire worldview starts cracking. Denzel, the man who practically is Black excellence in Hollywood. His name is in the mix now, and the internet has not recovered. Ally Carter is the one person who stepped forward with the truth about what was going down, and in return, everybody and their mama labeled her unstable because the things she was describing were simply too disturbing for most people to process. But Ali has an entire hard drive, sworn statements, and documented proof against these individuals, and she's reportedly preparing to release everything publicly very soon.
That people take pride in sticking bars of children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds to horse stables and have horses and dogs with them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people hang upside down in satanic ritual meetings, and they literally hang them. Literally, by metal prongs, they hang them to get dripping out of them, and people go up under and like you're under a rainfall to take their blood.
Now, when she first revealed all this, folks were questioning her for 2 reasons.
So who exactly is Ally Carter? She is one of the industry's self-described survivors, and she has been relentlessly trying to expose what she says is a deeply hidden underworld. She claims she was kidnapped and held captive inside underground facilities for years alongside other victims, while disturbing ritualistic ceremonies were carried out on them. She describes being physically restrained with chains while what she calls Illuminati-style practices were performed. And she says all of this started happening before she even turned 18. Now I want to stop here and be honest, because I think the reaction most people had when Ally first came forward is worth addressing directly. They laughed. They dismissed her. They called her unstable and attention-seeking. And look, I understand the impulse, because what she was describing was so extreme that the emotionally easier choice was to reject it entirely. People don't want to believe that the celebrities they admire are capable of the things she described. It's more comfortable to stay in that bubble. But comfort and truth are not the same thing, and they never have
tried to feed
been.
us. And I remember it because when
when
Pig
you
night.
have to do
Say what?
orders, jobs like that, you don't eat. You're not allowed to eat. You actually have to like starve yourself, because when you have to do those type of jobs, you can't eat because you will throw up.
Really?
If you are doing, or if you are a guy doing sex, you will shit everywhere.
Ali isn't just a random person making wild accusations from nowhere. She is allegedly the secret biological daughter of Tupac Shakur. And the theory is that once certain powerful people realized she might have a legitimate claim to Tupac's estate and publishing catalog, she became a serious target. She was reportedly lined up to testify in the ongoing legal case against Diddy. And then, right before her scheduled court appearance, she disappeared entirely. Federal sources indicated she was moved into witness protection after she released footage stating that her life was in immediate danger. Think about that sequence carefully. Woman has evidence. Woman is scheduled to testify. Woman vanishes. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is a timeline that demands real answers.
You get pressured, attacked, stalked, and hunted down for your own information. You get abused and re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue a back and forth this week like that fucking mattered. Okay, you had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are gonna be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home. You don't believe me? Here you go. What once was a full house, we were still paying rent on our house. What we were doing this whole time was moving everything because our house is gone. Our house is gone. This is the speaking out. What was our beautiful 3-bedroom acre home on 21225 Standing Rock Avenue, because everybody has the address, because organizations that were attached to Marx, Sawyer, and many other organizations decided to put out the address, my license plate to one of my cars, and many other of my. So here you go. You can have it, right? Because this is what happens when you speak out. This is what happens when you tell all the truth. This is what happens when you decided to stand up for the children, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to do a seminar, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to just be and then show up somewhere and talk and monetize everything that they're saying. When you realize that that's bullshit, then you will understand. Look at the tactics and pay attention. Pay attention. I'm still not asking you for a damn thing but to wake up. I'm not asking you for a damn thing but just to get outside. I don't give a damn about money, numbers on my platforms. You can have all of it. You took everything. The only thing that I give a shit about right now is the fact that there is a baby in the way. There's babies in the way. There are people that I love that I can't get out of the way. What am I supposed to do when the people in the authority that you're supposed to go to, you can't go to them?
Ali was never surprised that federal authorities turned a blind eye to her. She had long understood that the kind of money and influence these people carried could quietly neutralize any official investigation before it even got started. What genuinely shattered her was the rejection coming from regular, everyday people, strangers online, fans, the general public, people who had nothing to lose by simply listening, yet chose to mock her instead. All she was ever trying to do was pull back the curtain on deeply disturbing activities that were happening in rooms most people will never be invited into. And what makes it even harder to swallow is that she wasn't monetizing any of it. There was no book deal, no paid television appearance, no merchandise, no Patreon built around her trauma. She was uploading raw and unfiltered clips from her own accounts and telling her story because she genuinely believed people deserved to know the truth. Eventually, she decided that speaking on camera wasn't enough. She went a step further and submitted a formal sworn affidavit, a legal document, in which she directly named celebrities she personally witnessed being involved in these activities. And these weren't obscure names. We're talking Birdman, Diddy, Denzel Washington, Young Jeezy, Beyoncé, and Jay-Z, all named, in writing, under oath. The affidavit described a setup where victims were physically placed on a table and essentially made available to partygoers like objects on display. Attendees would walk over, make their selection, do whatever they wanted, and the victim would be returned to the table for the next person to choose. Nice, she described the space being divided into separate sections based on specific fetish categories. One area designated for a particular act, another section entirely for something different. Some of what she detailed in that document goes so far beyond what I'm able to describe here that I genuinely encourage you to find it yourselves and read it directly. Then take that same energy and cross-reference it with what has already been publicly confirmed inside the Epstein files. Because the overlap between what Ali described years ago and what those documents are now revealing is not something you can easily explain away. If investigators had taken her seriously when she first came forward, those underground locations she described could have been uncovered and exposed long before the Epstein files ever became a headline. Now let's bring Katt Williams into this directly, because his involvement isn't coincidental. People have been going back through everything Katt has said publicly over the years and lining it up next to Ali's statements. And the overlap is undeniable. Remember when Katt got publicly dragged for refusing to wear a dress on screen? He framed it as protecting his dignity and said there were deliberate forces inside the industry working to strip men of their masculine identity. People mocked him for it. But here's where it gets deeply uncomfortable. The leaked Epstein files contain actual email exchanges between Jeffrey Epstein and biologist Robert Trivers, where Epstein raises questions about transgender biology and the possibility of manipulating human development at a molecular level. Trivers confirmed that hormonal intervention could be introduced earlier in development to alter gender characteristics. The emails even reference noticing trans tendencies in a child and intervening with hormones. When you line that up next to what Katt was saying years ago about engineered emasculation inside the entertainment world, it stops looking like paranoia and starts looking like someone who simply knew too much. And remember what Katt said on Joe Rogan's podcast about certain ceremonies connected to access and power at the highest levels of the industry, and his suggestion that these powerful figures operate under an entirely different spiritual framework than the public understands. The Epstein messages appear to validate exactly that.
Somebody asked Epstein, what do you think of the devil? And he said, look, I'm just gonna say it.
It's a serious question. Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. He is number 1 or 2 archangel. And the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie.
Katt went even further, stating that the individuals who truly control the entertainment business are far more dangerous than anyone on the outside realizes. He admitted it took being personally targeted multiple times before he fully understood what he was actually up against. And he made it very clear that there is a steep price attached to operating at that level.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. Yeah. But now, it's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung 1,000,000 times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me 1,000,000 times. Right. I'm still not going to join, but I respect it a little more.
And when you challenge real power inside that system, you pay for it, plain and simple. That's exactly what they put both Ali and Katt through. But both of them stood firm on everything they said, and now the vindication is arriving. Jay-Z's name appeared directly in the documents, and photographs of him alongside Harvey Weinstein at Diddy's infamous adults-only celebration for his 29th birthday show, a man who looked entirely at ease in that environment. And although Denzel's name also appeared in Ali's affidavit, it seems like whatever bond he and Jay-Z once had may have fractured significantly. A clip of Denzel visibly avoiding Jay-Z at a public event went viral almost immediately after the Epstein list surfaced, and people widely believe the tension between them connects directly to the activities they allegedly witnessed or participated in together. The prevailing theory is that Denzel saw what was happening, panicked, pulled back, and has since leaned heavily into his faith, but remains too afraid of professional and personal retaliation to ever speak publicly. And while we're on the subject of rituals, MEA came forward in 2024, claiming that Jay-Z and Beyoncé pressured her into cosmetic procedures and participation in satanic ceremonies, including covering herself in red liquid, always coating her body in black substances, and wearing devil horns. She said it publicly, with her name
I met Jay-Z
attached.
and I signed to Rock Nation. The first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure because I would have got plastic surgery. People make it, they all can turn around and thank Beyonce because that's it. And enough is enough. I'm coming for everyone now. And even Adele, when she gets an award, she thanks Beyonce. Oh, I didn't want to drip myself in and cover myself and swim in goop, in black goop, and fucking like wear devil horns to sell a record. Fuck that. Or be a witch, or be that, all of that. Fuck all of that.
And the internet has had plenty to say about all of it. One person wrote that they have believed Ali from the very beginning, that she provided specific details, names, and documentation, and described the tunnels, cages, party favor setups, and ritualistic worship long before any of the Epstein files were public. They said she has been threatened and hunted for years and deserves to finally be heard. Another person raised a point that has always bothered me too. Where were the parents of these victims, and who was actually monitoring the systems designed to protect these children in the first place? Because at some point, this stops being about celebrities and starts being about systemic failure at every level. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Katt Williams stepping up to corroborate what Ali Carter has been saying all along? And do you believe that what Ali described happening to her was part of a much wider pattern affecting others in that world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click here to watch this next very messy video.